There's a kind of silence that doesn't come from the world going still, but from a world no longer calling your name. At first, it startles you, not with noise, but with its absence. No one's asking what's for dinner. No one's asking for a ride. No one's needing help with a school project or wondering where the socks are. The house, once full of little tasks, has become a cathedral of empty time, and it feels unholy at first, like you've been forgotten by the music of life itself, like all the strings you once held, those threads connecting you to others, have slipped through your fingers. It feels like grief, but not the sharp kind, more like the soft, slow ache of something that used to grow in your arms and has now gone to seed. There's a woman I once knew named Margaret. She was 76 when I met her, and she wore quiet like it was a sweater, not shy, not withdrawn, just present in a different way. Her voice was gentle, her movements slower, but there was something else about her, something that made me feel like she had already walked ahead of me into a life I didn't yet understand. She had been a mother, a caregiver, a wife, a schoolteacher. All of it, all the roles, all the years. And then one by one, those roles were retired. Some by death, some by time, some just faded. She said to me once, "There was a day I realized no one needed me anymore, not in the way they used to." And at first it broke me. I kept walking into rooms expecting to be useful and finding no one there. She paused, smiled, but then something even stranger happened. I stopped trying to fill the space, and I let the space fill me. I didn't understand what she meant until much later, when my own days became longer and my usefulness became quieter, and I, too, started to vanish from calendars and kitchen schedules. That's when I began to notice it, the strange joy, not loud, not triumphant, but gentle, like a breeze coming through a window that had been shut for decades. There is a hidden kind of freedom that comes only when people stop expecting you'd be everything, when you no longer carry the emotional weight of other people's daily survival, when you get to ask not what do they need from me, but what do I need from me? And at first you don't know, because you've forgotten. You spent years, decades, even pouring out, giving, solving, helping, preparing, planning. Your own needs shrank to corners. Your own dreams fell asleep under piles of laundry and errands. But now, in the silence they start to stir. You find yourself watching shadows on the wall the way you used to when you were a child. You notice the smell of oranges. You cry at movies for no reason. You remember how to make your favorite dish just for yourself, not because someone is hungry, but because you are. And in this space, this holy, unhurried space of being unneeded, you begin to bloom, not in ways others notice, but in ways only your soul can feel. There's a kind of joy that's not about happiness. It's about aliveness, about being with yourself in such a deep, kind way that you finally stop asking the world to see you and begin seeing yourself. One afternoon, Margaret invited me for tea. There were no grandchildren visiting, no adult children checking in, just the two of us and the quiet. She served lemon biscuits and poured the tea slowly, as if every movement deserved its own breath. "This is the part they never tell you," she said. "After everyone goes off into their lives, you get to meet the you that was buried beneath all the helping." I asked her if it was lonely. She smiled again, that soft, knowing smile. "Sometimes, but it's a sacred kind of loneliness, the kind that makes room for something else." I didn't ask what she meant. I just let her words settle. And over time, I can understand when you are no longer needed. You are finally free to be, to sit by the window and name the birds, to walk without purpose, to rest without guilt, to cry without needing a reason. You learn that being unseen is not the same as being unloved. Sometimes it means you are finally outside the noise, where love can find you without urgency. You learn that the world doesn't end when people stop leaning on you. Your worth is not a faucet that shuts off when no one's drinking from it. You learn to create for no audience, to cook for one, to dance in the living room just because your bones still remember how. And then one day, you realize you're smiling at nothing, at the smell of rain, at the way your sweater fits, at the music coming from the radio, a song you hadn't heard in years. And it's then in that smallest of moments that the strange joy becomes not strange at all. It becomes home, because you have found yourself in the quiet aftermath of being everyone else's answer. And you are enough, not because you're needed, but because you're here, breathing, being, belonging to yourself. So if you too are feeling like the world has moved on without you, if your days are quieter, your phone slower, your calendar empty, sit with that, not as punishment, not as proof that you're fading, but as invitation. What waits for you here? What long-forgotten parts of you are still humming beneath the silence? What beauty is being born in the stillness that the noise never let you hear? Maybe it's time to stop trying to be necessary and start being real. Maybe it's time to stop asking who needs me and begin whispering, what is life asking of me now, in this softer, quieter, holier season? Because a strange joy isn't in being needed, it's in being free. Free to be quiet, free to be slow, free to be a soul without a job description. And in that freedom, you might find something better than importance. You might find wonder. Let the world turn. Let others run. Let the door close. Your life isn't behind you. It's right here, in this breath, in this pause, in this sacred, unspoken moment where nothing's required and everything is possible. You are not forgotten. You are not erased. You are simply becoming something even more tender than useful. You are becoming real. Thank you for letting these words find you. If they stirred something in your heart, you are not alone. You never were.